You just closed your eyes then?
It was a long blink.
Oh, okay. You're not falling asleep.
No.
23.
You're getting good at that one.
So good. It's taken 40 years.
Look at your hands first. What's just, yeah.
Episode 23. Passion projects. Should you do them?
No.
When should you do them? What are the benefits? What are the drawbacks? All these things we're going to discuss.
Okay.
Where do you want to start?
Why should you do them?
Okay.
I think.
Why? Well, I'll give you a scenario.
Let's just clarify a passion project. Is it doing something the same as what you do for your main job?
I would class a passion project as something very related. Doesn't have to be identical, but I think very related or in the arena of that you're not being paid for, or paid very little. Essentially. And I think they're very important for a lot of reasons. But I am going to slightly disagree with myself maybe at the end of the conversation to say the drawbacks of it, because I think there are drawbacks. But the positives are, the scenarios, if you're self-employed and you've put everything into your business, and if you're working with clients who are deciding the creative brief, well, the very reason why you got into the job that you wanted to and the business that you wanted to can actually be taken away because the creativity to a certain extent is taken away because you're just executing other people's ideas. So you mentioned in episode 22, scratching the itch of creativity. So if you're not scratching that, a really good way to keep that passion going and upskilling yourself, I think, is doing things just for the love. So that could be evenings, weekends, but doing a project that you literally would do anyway. But you can use that, and it has so many benefits to your business as well, because every single project you're going to be upskilling yourself, and then you can take those skills into your business. So I think, keeping the passion, maybe that's the wrong word, but keeping the interest in what you do is very important.
I like that.
What about you? Slightly different for you because...
There's been a couple of things. Like, one of the things I really enjoy doing, but don't get that much opportunity to do, is mixing lots of tracks. So with voiceover, obviously, it's quite normal to just send one track because that's it, my voice. Every now and then I'm asked to add a bit of music for maybe a radio ad or on hold music or something like that. But what I really enjoy is when there's multiple voices, music, ambience, sound effects, bit of everything. And for me, even if I'm still just doing that by myself in my house, I love that sort of process of putting all the pieces together. And it's very rare that I get to do that. So I think something like that would be a decent passion project for me, because I really enjoy the editing, the mixing, the piecing together, and seeing it or hearing it form. There have been other instances where an idea I've had for an audio passion project to, and this is one of the other things why you should do them, is to raise awareness of other things. So not just for your own benefit, you do it to, like, for the one that I'm talking about was to raise awareness of Mental Health Week. I know that you've done things for raising awareness. But it went from me asking a few voiceovers, do you fancy doing a piece with me for this? And then other people heard about it and said, do you want me to write the script properly for you? And then someone said, actually, do you want me to do the composing for it? And then someone else said, shall we make it into a video? So it turned into this massive thing. I think there was like 17 people in the end involved in it. The original idea was just to do it by myself, but it just went into this huge thing. So again, it comes down to collaborative opportunity as well. It's by default networking with those people, because there were some people from outside the group that were involved in it. I think there's lots of positives for doing it.
Yeah.
learning whilst you're going along as well.
Do you think that there's any negatives?
Possibly getting too deep into it and letting other things slide a bit.
Okay. That's, yeah, I was going to say something else, but that's great, because if it's too enjoyable, you are gonna, if you're really into this passion project and you're not strict with yourself and you've got other deadlines to hit, or maybe networking meetings to attend or marketing stuff to do, actually I'll just do this passion project because this is a lot more fun.
Yeah.
So actually it can go the other way in effect. But yeah, I hadn't thought of that. That's good.
Yeah. Just prioritizing incorrectly.
Yeah. You've kind of, the way I would look at it is, if you don't want an element of guilt attached to it, treat that passion project as a hobby. So for instance, that could be outside of your working hours or weekends, if you know, and that way you can fully enjoy it because you're not taken away from your business.
Yep.
That would be a way I would look at it.
The other, it's not really a drawback, I don't think. It's just maybe a bit of awkwardness sometimes. If you've got a passion project that you really believe in and you want to bring other people in who also maybe will believe in it, or you think, actually, if I could get him to do it, that would be amazing because they're good at what they do, or whoever. The risk is that, well, there's no money there. And I've had people say, just flat out refuse, and I'm not interested in anything like that. You know, it's that blunt before.
Really?
Yeah, because they just won't do anything unless it's paid.
Okay.
Which I kind of understand if you're so busy that you don't have time to do unpaid stuff. But it was such small parts that everyone was having as well. So yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Don't want to upset anyone.
No, it's, in some ways I respect their honesty, because I couldn't do that personally. If I was to refuse something like that, I'd come up with this airy, fairy, flowery, excuse, or can't do this or can't do that.
Yeah.
But maybe it was just as simple as, capacity or, just too much on. So yeah, there is that. There was also, I think you raised a good point in terms of, and this is something during the short film that we did a couple of months ago. If you're asking people in the industry, firstly, I think it's really, really important to be honest and say, if you take this on, I can pay travel expenses or whatever the arrangement is, but this is how long the project will take. And I think it's vital to value people's time.
Yep.
Because otherwise that passion, because if I've written a script and I'm directing, well, there's no way I can expect other people to be as passionate about the project as me. So I've got to take all on, and that should be the way it is. But I think what does happen is people expect other people to be as passionate about that. And then the relationships can get a bit frayed and it can get a bit difficult. So I think passion project is, if you're involving other people, be really clear about parameters.
Yeah.
And what you do expect and what you don't expect. And that's also if you're coming into a project as well.
Yeah.
To be really honest and say, well, this is how much time I can give it. But I also, going back to what you said about people just refusing, I think you do hear a lot of people in the creative industry say, "Oh, keep your passion projects going. This is so important for that." There are some people, and I get like this sometimes, that see their business after they've been established for a while as that is their job. And they don't want to do it at weekends. They don't want to do it in every evening. And there's nothing wrong with that either. But I think that's quite a human response, actually. When I hear of people like photographers that have been going 30, 40, 50 years and they're busy with commercial work and they've still got side projects, they've got no hobbies, like that is their life. In some ways I'm kind of envious because it's amazing to have that passion and sort of identity, but also, it must be, maybe they're missing out on other stuff as well. So just because you don't have a passion project doesn't mean that you're any less of a creative, I wouldn't say, or anything like that.
It's got to be right. You can't just magic up an idea for something. It has to be it still has to be a good idea.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
We have to believe in it.
Yeah.
Because passion projects take a lot of energy and time. And if it's just an idea that comes and goes, and also, like I said, if you're involving other people, you need to make absolutely sure that project is completed. Like you could start a personal project. If it only involves you, it doesn't matter if it doesn't really get finished. But if you're involving other people, you hear that all the time with short films. People getting a crew together, they shoot, and actors are still waiting like 2 years down the line. And you'd be fuming, wouldn't you? Because you've given that time, you've given that effort, and you're not seeing anything. So
are we outweighing the goods?
Are we outweighing the goods? No, I think we've been balanced.
Okay.
I think, well, if it's right for you, I think the positives massively outweigh the negatives. The point I'm trying to make is that if it's not right for you at a particular time, it's not essential. I think that's what I'm trying to say. And don't feel bad.
Yeah. But also, if you commit to it, do commit to it.
So a peek behind the curtain. My camera overheated, and we needed to halt recording for about 10 minutes or so. So I think we're okay but we're going to wrap up shortly anyway.
But your editing will make it seem seamless, like nothing ever happened.
Well, not now. Yeah, not now.
We were talking about averages.
It was 5.4, rapidly going down. So in kind of in summary, we mentioned some positives about passion project and the drawbacks potentially. Any comments, any closing remarks about the importance of passion projects?
If it's possible, say yes to doing it. Just because I think it's a great opportunity to be able to get involved with something from other people's perspectives, maybe not being in full control of it. So you get to see how other people work, and just, even as my example came along to your shoot, never been to a shoot before, it was excellent seeing the other side of what I'm involved in sometimes. Just seeing how people's brains are working.
Or not working.
Well, it depends who you're watching. But yeah, I think it's, if you have the space to do it, I think it's you'll be silly to pass up those opportunities.
Yeah, and I think even if it's at the time, or the ongoing process that is the creative process, even if it's not a brilliant experience at the time, it will almost certainly be something you can look back on with either fondness or positivity because of potentially what it's given you. There's that thing, isn't there, that there's, I think, 3 types of fun. There's fun that's enjoyable in the moment. There's fun, I can only think of 2 off the top of my head, but there's also fun that isn't fun at the time, that you look back on with fondness, like a nostalgia. Oh, that was good fun.
So the other one has to be fun before it happens, like the anticipation.
Oh, okay, yeah. So there we go. We got there. And so even if it's not brilliant at the time, looking back on it, I think it would always, mostly, unless it's been
work to be proud of.
Yeah. And what we're doing, we're building a body of work, aren't we? That's all any of us are really doing, to look back on. Okay, well, I think my battery got there. I think we're still rolling, so we'll wrap up there, shall we?
See you later.
See you later.